How many ounces of silver do you have? Good evening, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Remember, always live with no edits. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button now, as you're going to like what I'm about to say. So right here to my right, I am showing, of course, one of my most beloved coins, and this is a 1964 Canadian half dollar. These first year Canadian half dollars were struck in highly pure 90% fine silver. The only year the coin was struck in 90% silver. Only two mints, Philadelphia and Denver, struck this coin, and the ones available in this offer were all struck at the Mother Mint in Philadelphia. What's more, each silver 1964 Canadian half dollar was expertly crafted by the mint from hand-selected planchets, polished dies, and multiple strikes produce beautifully frosted details rising over mirror-like fields. So a lot went into these pieces. Of course, these dollars were struck in proof condition, a relatively small total that represents less than 1% of all Canadian half dollars struck in 1964. I generally only purchase these in uncirculated condition for close to $20 each. So yes, for them to be going for $16, $17, $18, very, very common. If you're telling me you're buying them at $25 each in this condition, uncirculated, I mean, that's the market, and it makes complete sense. But if you're serious in the silver game, you definitely want to have, I would say at least 5 to 10 of these in your batch at the minimum. You can't go wrong. They're very elegant, very modern, considering that these are 60-year-old pieces at this point. Very, very modern looking. They look like they could have been made yesterday, just because of the hairstyle, and of course, John F. Kennedy was that timeless president. You look at John F. Kennedy, and he existed 30 years ago. You would believe it. Real quick, guys, before I continue, I want to give a quick shout out, and this is to Ron McAdams 7650, and this is a comment from last night. Just crossed over 300 ounces of silver. Yeah. And that is Ron McAdams 7650. Wow, that is awesome. Just crossed over 300 ounces of silver. That is a lot of silver. That's a lot of money that you're sitting on. And if you consider what it's selling for at price, at spot, right there alone, you have $10,000. Easy, Of course, if you're selling it at premiums and making a profit, you have over 10 grand right there. Easy. And when you know for a fact you're sitting on at least $10,000 worth of silver, that is an amazing feeling to have. Because right now, folks, lies from all sources is becoming the new normal. We're being compelled to lie or sway to go along with lies, depending on the censorship. We're living in a time where you'll get punished for telling the truth. The Second Amendment means so much more than the right to bear arms, so much more than the right to self-defense. It's about maintaining a free state, a free republic, to protect from foreign and domestic threats. Assuming you sell at spot, it takes 90 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. It comes out of the ground 10 to 1. That is God's ratio. Make no mistake. Silver will outperform gold. 1 in 3 Americans in the top 100 cities are behind on bills. Yet they're saying we have the best economy? Home foreclosures have been skyrocketing for months now. It's obvious what's coming. The average consumer is going to get pushed off of a cliff, and the money printer will turn back on, making inflation so much worse. Defaults will soar, and gold and silver will do better than ever. There's not a good narrative left for the U.S., for the U.S. hegemony, for the U.S. economy. Because when we look at the recession indicators and the labor indicators and inflation indicators, it's over. There's never been a higher point in our history where insiders were dumping their stocks at the top. These people aren't stupid. Jeff Bezos, Mark Cuban, Mark Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett. They're all doing the same thing at the same time. This faith in AI and dystopian faith in technology, they're just ideas which have been pandered. The market bubble couldn't have come at a worse time, and there will surely be more centralization and surely more capital control. There will be less civil liberties, and there will be more distractions, along with more political unrest and more military drum rolls. This is all happening in real time. We're living in it. Billionaires have money saved up already to buy what's left of America. 7.6 million single-family homes will be owned exclusively by investors in the next 5 years. 5.5 years, give or take. 7.6 million. That's 40% of all homes in America. These next 20 months are going to be way more aggressive in terms of money being transferred than anything we've experienced. And everybody is at risk. And I mean everybody. I don't care if you're in the top 5%. You are at risk. So right here. Hideo Nomo. Love, love, love this piece right here. Very classy. Of course, this is a collector's piece, a baseball piece, a work of art, and it is vintage. A Hideo Nomo 1 ounce silver round when he played for the Los Angeles Dodgers. This was a limited mintage of only 5,000 coins. Of course, right here, the obverse shows a portrait of Hideo Nomo with his signature and number. And then we go to the reverse, and we see a display of the Major League Baseball Association. Now, mind you, I do have a number of these. So, of course, I have Hideo Nomo. I believe this one is Barry Bonds. And then I think I got another sucker right here. Oh, perfect. Mark McGwire. Now, what I love about these Major League pieces is there are so many baseball fans to this day who still remember America's pastime and its steroid era when baseball really, really, really excelled. And I'm not going to put Hideo Nomo in this category, but you have two baseball titans right here, Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire. Both were under the microscope of conspiracy of doing steroids, and many will argue that they did. Of course, many will argue that they are amongst the greatest to ever play the game. But yes, you have Mark McGwire, who's a coach now, and you have Barry Bonds, who, again, arguably, many people will debate that he was the best ever. Better than Hank Aaron, better than Babe Ruth, better than A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, Derek Jeter. I mean, I'm talking one of the beasts. And somebody who falls into this category is somebody like Ken Griffey Jr., Sammy Sosa. Of course, I'm also talking about the same era. Sammy Sosa was accused of using steroids, as was Barry Bonds, as was Mark McGwire. At the end of the day, I adore these silver rounds, and I will not let them go unless I know I can get one at a profit, or I'm just not going to let them go. And right now, they're not selling anywhere near spot. Both of these coins that you see in front of you, the Barry Bonds could easily sell for $90 to $100. This Mark McGwire could easily sell for $90 to $100. These mints in particular, and of course this Hideo Nomo could probably sell for like $60, $70. My point being is I understand collectible silver is not the most ideal, but if you know what you're purchasing and if you have a clientele base for it, you will always make profit, especially on rounds like this. I always have people hitting me up, but the reason why I don't sell them is because they're very rare to get, very hard to get, and of course I want to make as much money as possible at a reasonable price. But folks, as always, this is Silver Dad Knows, and thank you so much for joining us for another evening, and you already know what I'm going to say. Let's get this 1964 ready for action. God bless you. God bless your household. and God bless America.